one probably is going to be a short one. I have stuff I'm involved in doing, and I know some of you are concerned that this group is doing stuff to try and elicit an emotional response from me, try to make people think I'm crazy. And what's interesting is that at this point in my life, I have never been so at peace. And the reason why I feel that way, hold on. The reason why I feel that way is because I feel that heaven is starting to fulfill its promises to me. And so I'm getting this real sense of things are starting to fall into place. And these motherfuckers are going to be claimed. That's how it's going to work. Sherilyn and I went through the last lot because we were looking for a specific comment. We couldn't find that comment. However, hey Elizabeth, we couldn't find that comment isn't in there. And Sherilyn doesn't remove comments. If your comment disappears, it's because she's blocked you. But we've gotten to the point now where I would just rather you just be timed out. That way your shit stays. That way people can read. But what we found about what Gabe Hoffman posted, which is on my blog, you can go see what he said. You know, I just want to point out when it comes to Gabe Hoffman, I'm not the only victim of all of this mess that he's gone after. I mean, it's on record. The victims that he did the open secret documentary with, he threatened them with court too. Because he was mad at what they were saying about it. The dude likes to attack and go after people he thinks are vulnerable. He has a history of it. I'm just one more in his long ass history. And so, but what he said about the Satanic Temple, it just shows how interconnected, even just mentally, they all are with each other. Sherilyn also brought up the fact that me posting all of Thomas Schoenberger's emails yesterday, I'm giving him a platform. I'm giving him a platform. And I told her, yes, that is true. But I felt that publishing everything he sent me yesterday was important. Because this dude knows dates, people, events, in a way that I don't even know. And I've been at this for a long time. And I've been pretty much involved with all of this. I'm not running around telling people I'm just a little musician who's doing music and that's all I do. But I can write fucking novellas of dates and events and people concerning all of it. He's obviously wants to be known as an authority. And so therefore, you can't have it both ways. You're either an authority on all this situation, or you're just a simple little musician going and living his life. Because you're trying to use one to negate the other. And I don't find it working myself. They want to say that I'm crazy, that I'm angry. And they all keep wanting to push this narrative that I'm angry. And I could give a shit less. Heaven is dealing with them. The dark is already happening. The people that I have in my neighborhood, shit is already starting to happen to them. I can see it, and that's how it works. It starts small, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds. And I can already see that it has started for them. And so I want justice. That's right, Elizabeth. I want justice. I'm not angry, you know? And they'll say, oh, he's angry, he's crazy. if you go read what I wrote this morning in the blog, let me just point out, they break into my house and steal shit at will. And then they brag about it online. And they just come into my house at will. At the same time, they're posting all these fucking weird-ass videos of my house blowing up and burning down and me hanging on a noose. And it has these songs that directly threaten me and my dogs and anyone in my life. So all of that is happening. And then they're attacking me email after email, day after day, and it's a whole collection of them. Yesterday it was a collection of them, you know? Yesterday it was a collection of them, and Johnny Dub has now once again changed his name. Wow, fuck surprise is that, you know? And so, and all of this shit is going on. They just came in 2 years ago, murdered my friend, and then bragged about it and danced around. Not to mention they blew up that Earling, Iowa gas station 11 months after they murdered Isaac Kappen. And why? Because they want to keep their little child trafficking operation closed. And so here we have the whole situation. So with all that said, I'm not allowed to get irritated with the situation. I can't get angry. That seems crazy. So all the shit that they're doing to me collectively as a group, because it's all happening, and it's all happened all at once, and it's from all of them, but they're all connected. That's my experience. They're all connected. It's all one big organization, and this shock and awe campaign usually terrifies people. They run, or they just murder them after they run. I'm not running. And I'm not angry about it either. I personally believe they've already fucking lost. You know? And it's a bad day to be a pedophile. It's not going away. Just like I said, this Jeffrey Epstein thing is not going to go away no matter how bad they want it to. They've just thrown fuel on the fire, basically. You know? But I'm not angry. When I have told Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, repeatedly, that because he wants to stand as the gatekeeper and protect this group of fucking child killers, I was going to bulldoze over him. Gabe Hoffman did an email yesterday to the sheriff saying, oh, that's a terroristic threat. No. What it means is I'm going to expose his meth operation. I'm going to expose him. That's how I'm going to bulldoze over him. The whole fact that Gabe has it in his fucking head. First of all, where do I go find this bulldozer that I'm supposedly supposed to steal? Then when I get it, how do I start the fucking thing, let alone drive it? Because I don't know how to fucking drive it. And then what? I'm supposed to, drive it into town? And run it into the sheriff's office? Is that your contention? Like I have nothing better to do with my time? Let alone, all of that shit is stupid. You know? All of that shit is stupid. It's so much more effective to expose their fucking meth operation. And so much easier, I have to say. You know? Because take a nap or go steal a bulldozer so I can run it into the sheriff's office. Which one do you think is actually going to win? I'm 58 years old. If you said take a nap, ding, 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 you would be right. You know? Fuck. Who has the energy, let alone the compunction at 58 years old to go steal a bulldozer? But that's the stupid shit that they say. Just like, you know, with Gabe. I'm still fucking, I want to know whose baby. You said I almost killed a baby. I want to know whose baby. I'm dying to know whose baby. And as far as Mark Hester goes, my nephew, first of all, Cindy wasn't dad's. My mom was promiscuous, to say the least. And she got pregnant, but used it to snare my dad. So this whole, we never want to be Shurters. Okay, you won't have to worry about that because you're not dads. But when it comes to Mark Hester, of all the nieces and nephews that I've had, the one I always wanted to shove in front of a fucking train was him. Now, obviously, since he hasn't been shoved in front of a train, I'm using that term just metaphorically, and the fact that I have to explain that is stupid, but he has always been a loudmouth, obnoxious, pretentious closet case. What he is saying is so stupid. And the fact that he actually apologized to me at his mother's funeral, saying that he only said that so he could save his dad, because I was calling out Ralph, his dad, and his oldest sister, Wendy. They were the only two with my sister, and my sister was running around telling everybody how they wanted to murder her. Those two specifically. She told her doctors and nurses that too. She told everyone. And then when she died, those were the only two people that were with her. And they couldn't get their fucking story straight. But nothing ever happened. And you want to know why? Because my brother-in-law was city manager. So they weren't going to do anything to Ralph. He thought he couldn't be touched. But like I said, I like to reach out and touch those who feel they can't be touched. Killing my sister Cindy was one of the most advantageous things you guys did for me. She has nothing but she is the best ally I could ever ask for on the other side. And so I simply went to her and said, Ralph, never let him sleep. And when he sleeps, never let him rest. 3 years later, he was fucking dead. And when I told my niece, Melissa, about that situation, she got quiet and then told me, oh my God, that's exactly how he died. I know. He thought he couldn't be touched. And he's sleeping soundly in the dark right now. But Matthew actually apologized for his stupid ass lie. The problem that Matthew has with me is that I can be who and what I am and always have been. It's not like I'm married and meeting gay guys on the beach every morning, which is just bizarre, you know? If you want to play, Mark, by God, I'll play. If you want to play, you know? But notice how none of your family has come and supported you with any of this shit. None of it. You know? That town, that house in Grettinger. We both know you've never been able to keep your mouth shut about anything. If that would have happened, you would have told your parents, my sister, your father. Your father would have fucking murdered me. I wouldn't even have to have worried about my dad and my sister Cindy. But in a 1,200 square foot house where there's 12 people living in there, now you're just making tales. So you can go help these fucking child killers. You know? I'm not playing. And I'm not certainly gonna run from the stupid shit. I'm not gonna go run from the stupid shit. You know? Your dumbass brought a trunk load of fucking guns in the trunk of your car when your grandmother died. And tried to get Kathy's kids to help you sell them. But Kathy's kids aren't like that. Kathy might be fucked in the head, but her kids are pretty awesome. You know? Have their own issues, but, you know? Your stupid shit isn't gonna work. Go ahead. Fucking jump on the fucking devil, the train. And I'm done arguing about the shit that happened when I was 13. I'm done arguing about it. It happened 45 years ago. And you want to know what? All of the tales that come from that all come from my sister Kathy, who, in all the shit that she talks about, never once in 45 fucking years has ever admitted any accountability to it at all. And yet she was the fucking adult. I was 13. I wasn't an adult. She knew I was being abused. She tells everybody that, you know? And all of the shit. There are no fucking medical records because my nephew didn't go to the hospital. And I didn't go to jail. And Gabe Hoffman telling people that I went to the mental institution because of what happened to my nephew is fucking bullshit. It didn't happen until 2.5 months after that, when I got back into Iowa. And why? Because I tried to kill myself again. Because I was convinced I was going to be the vessel for the Antichrist. And do you know who drove me to the fucking mental institution? The social workers that the courts of Minnesota ordered into my dad's house. That's who took me to Cherokee. You know who signed my ass in at 13? Me. They had me sign myself in, and I was 14. I had just turned 14 a week before. So all of the bullshit that you're talking about is just to try. And what difference does it make? It doesn't change anything about your child trafficking operation. Nothing. It changes absolutely nothing about your child trafficking operation. It doesn't erase the fact that my sheriff has been running around telling people that I'm paranoid schizophrenic and all this shit is in my head. Okay, then what delusion do I have that's passing out fucking flyers with my address telling everybody I'm a pedophile? You know? What delusion is that? You know? And it's obviously a female hand because they filmed themselves doing it. Hanging up the fucking posters. You know? So obviously that he's paranoid schizophrenic and it's all in his head doesn't work anymore. They fucked you, Neil, because they're fucking stupid. And they only care about themselves. You know? And when it comes down to it, when it gets thrown under the bus, Neil, they're gonna throw your ass under the bus. You think they're trying to protect you, and they're not. They'll use you any way they possibly can, because that's what they do. This group eats their own. You know? But Thomas Schoenberger saying this shit, I mean, he's just a little musician and he's not involved with anything or anyone, but then yesterday could give me fucking a novella, dates, times, events, people, over and over, every fucking paragraph. But then the day before he said he had only spoken to Isaac Cappy twice. So when I asked him, so I'm curious, which of those two conversations did you convince Isaac to go on Nathan Stoltman? Because you and Johnny Dubb both bragged to me through email, which I've shown screenshots of, that you guys were the ones who got him to go on to Nathan's show. And then now you're going to say that you don't trust Nathan. You know, well, of course you don't trust Nathan. Because every time fucking Nathan gets run into the fucking mental institution because you're doing the same thing to him that you're doing to me, he calls your ass out. So of course he can't be trusted. You, who's just a little musician who's not involved with anything, but can give a detailed fucking list of everybody and everything and every event and every day. Shit, I feel like I'm talking to Phoenix Enigma, aka Corey Daniels, on steroids, who knew the exact moment he drove under an overpass, but there was no police presence and there was no body and he didn't know Isaac. You know? Same kind of shit. So I posted all this stuff because I want people to know, because I know for a fact, just in the last 2 days, Thomas, you can't keep your lies straight. God only knows how many lies you have told before that. To who? There are so many people who are on top of your group that want to see your group get brought down. And the only thing that I've done, the only part that I've had to play in this is that I've kind of been a catalyst, which has given them some hope. They actually think they actually can visualize it, and they think it's possible now. Because your shit actually wants to make everyone go run away afraid. The shit with Sherilyn, you wanted her to go run away afraid. The stuff with Smokey, you want him to go run away afraid. You know? You'll just target anybody you want, and you want them to run away. And what's the difference between you guys? You want all of this to go away, and you're going to do it by focusing on me. No matter how much of your bullshit is just bullshit, you want to focus it on me. All I want is an investigation. But you guys seem to be fighting awfully hard to convince people that there's nothing to see here. There's no investigation necessary. And you're spending an inordinate amount of time and an inordinate amount of effort on someone that you're telling everybody is crazy and a liar. But you guys seem fucking obsessive to me. And your shit seems weirder and weirder and weirder. Every day it gets more bizarre. The shit that Gabe Hoffman put in the comments, and you can go back because I told Sherilyn to leave them. We're not erasing shit anymore. If they come in here and start causing problems, I'm not going to have people upset or feel like they can't speak. So she's going to time the fucking out. But we're leaving the shit. We're leaving it. You know, that way everyone can see for themselves. Don't take my word for it. Go look for themselves. Go hit those 2 blog entries and just read what the fuck I got the last couple days. I don't know how much of that people got because it just reconnected my phone. Reconnecting me. DavidShurter.com. You know, the thing about it is their shit seems crazy. Their shit is crazy. It's weirding people out in town. Their shit is weirding people out in town. And yet they're trying to tell everybody that I'm mentally ill and I'm crazy. But the shit that they do is crazy making. That's what it's designed to do. The fact that I'm actually able to be here and Thomas just says my lies are consistent. No, dude, that's the truth. When you tell the truth, then it's consistent. Lies change. But thank you for admitting to everyone in those emails that I'm consistent. I keep saying the same shit over and over and over again. The same thing. And I just keep saying the same facts over and over and over. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be investigated by someone who has more authority than me. I am not Nancy Drew. I have a whole life. I don't go to raves. I've never been to a rave in my life. It's hard to go to a rave when you go to sleep at 3 o'clock. You know? They can call me crazy, but they can't call me a liar. I just repeat myself over and over and over. And the only reason why is that Gabe Hoffman has been telling everybody for 7.5 years, 7+ years, that I'm crazy. And I just feel that people should know why. Why he's so invested in telling everybody I'm crazy. And now he's going to take me to court and take my house and give it to Lucian Greaves and the Satanic Temple. That's what he threatened to do in here. That's what he threatened to do while he was in here. You know? And you can go read. We took screenshots of the fucking, it was the last live, and it's still in there. It's still in there. And Sherilyn took a screenshot of it and sent it to me. You know? And so, if you want to donate, my PayPal and my Venmo is just D Shurter. My first initial, my last name. First initial, last name. This is my book. I sell them for $30. If you want one, you just need to let me know who I'm inscribing it to and where I'm sending it. That's for the United States. If you're in another country, I have to find out how much postage is. But because of all the bills that ended up. I don't even get $1,000 a month. So now it's what, the 8th, and I have $15. You know, this takes up an awful lot of my time. This is kind of like a full-time fucking job. You know, it never stops. I'm constantly having to deal with it, and it is taxing. I don't watch their shit. I don't watch their shit. I rarely ever read their shit. When I'm taking screenshots of their shit, I have trained myself to not read. Every once in a while, I catch part of it because I can't help myself. But it catches my attention, and I read fast, and so. But for the most part, and their videos, I don't give a fuck about their videos. You know, what they show me is that they're obsessed with me. They're obsessed, and they think that they can make any nasty fucking weird ass threat, and I just don't understand their objective. I don't understand what they think, what they're looking to accomplish with their weird ass shit, because I don't think they're accomplishing what they're hoping they want to accomplish, because people are watching that and going, no wonder David seems irritated, you know? Yeah, let him make videos of your house blowing up and burning down and see how you feel about it, you know? And posting all over and over and over. And then pick videos where you're hanging in a noose. They took a picture of one of my lives with my eyes closed and then had this nasty song, you know? And then there's all kinds of just and they're talking about me all over. You know, they're talking about me all over. If you go look at the screenshots someone sent me, I have people watching them and they're just taking screenshots and sending it to me. I have a bunch of people doing that. And they said, oh, they're trying to make you out to be crazy. So what? So they get a bunch of people who've never met me, won't ever meet me, don't really have a fucking clue. And most of all, let me just remind everybody, all the people that are watching them are people who are watching them. Ick. You know? That says as much about their audience as it does the idiots that are saying their shit. You know? And so what? So they convince them I'm crazy. You know? It doesn't change the facts of the matter in the least. And I can show. I just simply show their shit. And this is the stuff that they've done to all kinds of people. All kinds of people. I'm not the first. I'm the first one who's been effectively been able to fight back. And that's what they don't like. They don't like it. I know how to fight back. And I do. I'm not just going to let them, I'm just not going to let them do whatever the fuck they're going to do. You know? And nobody is threatening to put them in a fucking wood chipper. Talking about JD Delay and his whole wood chipper thing, no one's threatening to put them in a wood chipper. And if you were trying to put anyone in a wood chipper, you'd have to deal with me because I would not. You wouldn't like me. I'm not going to watch anybody do shit to anyone else. You know? It's really fucked up. But that's as fucking stupid as the fact that that Gabe Hoffman tried to tell my sheriff, I'm going to go steal a bulldozer someplace. And I guess run it into the sheriff's office? Who the fuck knows? You know? I didn't get that part. I don't think he got that part. But it's the same stupid shit. You know? It's the same stupid shit. And I'm not going to play anymore. I just don't care about their shit anymore. You know? They're desperate because they don't want to be investigated. And that's the lot of them. My stepmother doesn't want anyone fucking looking at her. My sister Kathy doesn't want anyone fucking looking at her because she, I bet, because of what she said, was in contact with Daniel Dowd, at least Daniel Dowd, before what happened to Owen happened to Owen. And she can say whatever the fuck she wants, but she was mad. Owen and I were friends. And as her brother, she's a vindictive fucking bitch. Would she work with someone who was murdering her ex-boyfriend to get back at her ex-boyfriend? Think if she thought that she couldn't get called out? Oh, without a fucking doubt. And my sister Cindy's kids. You know, Mark is just one of them. You can't talk to Megan because she died. She's already dead from a police shootout. She and her boyfriend were shooting at the police and they got murdered in the shootout. And she was the good one. Matthew's pretty good. Matthew's a decent dude. You know, has his issues. But the rest of them, Hunter S. Thompson was a fucking crazy dickhead. I've been around him when I was a kid. I was around him. He was in Omaha several times when I was 19. Do you want to know what? You want to know the big thing about Hunter S. Thompson? Nobody liked him because he was a freak and he did weird ass things to hurt people. His jokes weren't funny. They were mean. And he was a freak. And people didn't like him. You know? He was a monster. Hunter S. Thompson was a fucking monster. That was the first strike against Johnny Depp that I had. But I will say, the last straw for me with Johnny Depp is when he and Damien Eccles went out and got matching fucking devil tattoos on their backs. That did it for me. I went to heaven and told heaven, if he wants to be the poster child for all things fucking devil loving, then let him be. And heaven fucking dealt with his ass, still dealing with his ass. His life hasn't gotten any better. Because heaven's not going to let up, because the dark will never let go. Never let go. And it has that. And the shit is coming down. The shit is coming down. You know? People don't realize if fucking Mount Rainier goes off like they think it's going to, it's going to fuck this entire country over in a way you do not understand how important the Seattle port is. And all of that fucking lava is going right into the Sound. It's going to just fuck everything up. You know? This is done. They can play all the goddamn games that they want. But the dark has them by the short and curlies, and it's about ready to fucking claim them. And when they end up in the dark, they ain't gonna like it. They ain't gonna like it. But as far as I'm concerned, they seem like the obsessive ones. I just keep saying the same shit over and over and over, year after year after year. I want this investigated. I want it investigated by someone with more authority than me. Anybody with an icky screen name, you're getting blocked. You know? It's just, thank you for the, you know, peer leaders. Thank you for the questions. You know? I'll try to answer everything that I can. If I don't know the answers, I'll tell you I don't know the answers. And if I think I can find out the answers, I'll tell you I don't know the answers, but I'll look into it. You know? I don't know everything. That's Thomas Schoenberger's job. To know everything. You can tell by his fucking emails yesterday. And as far as the law letter goes, how many different lawyers have they tried that shit with? It's not like I can think of 3 right now. You know? And doctors and just all these fake ass bullshit. But I can show where they've targeted me. I can show where Thomas Schoenberger and Johnny Dove and that Chris McGimpsey Jones person, how they all targeted me. They all fucking tag teamed me to try and push me over the edge. And I'm disabled, you know? That is the stupidest thing. Someone's been paying me. I started my blog in 2011. I published this book, and this book is self-published. I published this in 2012. So, and I only have $15 to my name right now. So if I'm getting paid, I'm getting fucked. Because this alone cost me 14 grand. I haven't even come close to recouping that, let alone the blog, which costs damn near $500 every fucking year just to maintain, you know, and since 2011, you know, if I'm getting paid, I would really like to know, because they're way behind on a payment schedule, you know. Shit, that's about as stupid as I'm trying to do this for attention, you know. Thomas has tried to say, oh, you're just doing it to be famous. Oh, is that why I had all these videos out on YouTube for years and wouldn't let anybody comment and wouldn't let anybody like? Because I'm looking for fame. Because that's what, how you get fame? You don't let anybody interact with you, and you don't let them fucking like the video or anything. You just put the shit out there. That's how you get famous? Because I don't think that's how you get famous. But that's what I've done. So since that's what I've done, you know, David has been on my radar for almost 2 decades now. Yeah. I've been at this for a long time. I was here way before Isaac Cappy even came to the forefront. I've been at this. And none of this is not good attention. They break into my house at will. They steal shit and then brag about it and laugh about it. So God only knows. They could fucking come in while I'm here by myself and hurt me. And they threaten to do it all the time. And my dogs. And everything else. And to burn my house down. You know? They make videos of it. Parade it around. Send me emails. Fuck, yesterday it was just email after email after email after email after email after email. And then, after Thomas is sending me all these fucking emails, then turns around and says, cease and desist. Stop stop answering my emails. You're victimizing me. I should just be able to fucking email you and have my friends fucking email you over and over and over, but you can't say anything because then that victimizes me. That's his argument. And then he gets mad when I tell him to go fuck himself, you know? And I don't even really answer his emails. I just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again because I don't even read his emails. And what is it that I keep saying? He needs to be investigated. He needs to be incarcerated. Children are not going to be safe until this group is stopped. It needs to be investigated by someone who has more authority than me. They're going to discredit everything I bring to the table. That's what they're doing now. So why would I present anything? So it just gets discredited? There's no way I'm doing that. Someone with more authority who can't be so easily discredited needs to investigate. And that's all I've ever wanted, is for this shit to be investigated. My stepmother to be investigated. That's how it all started. I wanted my family investigated. And that means the Hesters too. You want to fucking find out shit? Eric Hester and Mark Hester. Go look at them. I bet you find a lot of shit for them. You know? Because this bullshit of I fucking molested him is stupid and disgusting. You know? Mark isn't someone you want to fuck. Mark is someone you want to push down and kick sand in his face. And he always has been. Even when he was a little kid. Pretentious, obnoxious, know-it-all. Piece of shit. That's what I've always thought. That's what I've always thought. And Eric, oh my God. His life goes without saying. You know? A dude who wears diapers when he doesn't have to, and then wants other people to change his diapers when he doesn't even have to wear diapers. And that's just one aspect of his life. One aspect. So if you want to go talk to the fucking adult who has a diaper fetish and wants everyone else to engage in his diaper fetish, you go right the fuck ahead. You know? You go right ahead. Go right for it. You know? But don't come to me and think that their bullshit is going to make me run or I'm going to cower because of their stupid shit. I've never cowered from them. I've never respected them. That's the issue with all of these people. That's the reason why they keep saying, oh, David's so angry. I would have to respect you and care about what you were saying for me to get angry. And I don't about any of them. About any of them. And I'm not obsessed about them. I'm obsessed about what they're doing. This child trafficking ring needs to be exposed. They all need to be looked at. They all need to be fucking investigated. That's how this should work. You know, that's all I've ever wanted. It's all I've ever called for. Wrote a frickin' book. That's what I wanted. You know, have a blog. That's what I've wanted. I want it to be investigated. And what they want to do is convince you of any stupid shit. I was a fucking coke addict until the age of 35. Do I look like a fucking coke addict? Do I look like a drug user? I'm a felon that had a fucking shot-off shotgun. I didn't even know what a shot-off shotgun. I didn't understand why someone wanted to saw off a shotgun. This is just some of the stupid shit that I have to deal with. I am interested to know what baby I almost murdered that Gabe spoke about in my last live. What, on Sunday? I want to know all about the baby I almost murdered. I want to know whose baby it was. That's what I want to know. You know? I want to know whose baby I almost murdered. You brought it up. You said you had evidence. Well, it's news to me, so I want to know what baby I almost murdered. You know? I'm not running. I'm not running. Those who fight to save their lives will lose them. Those who stand and take a stand for righteousness will find everlasting life. The rules have not changed. They're the same now as they always were. Fill your heart with love. You know? Don't do anything fucking mean or ugly or nasty to anyone. You know? And vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So before you think you're going to go out. Oh, and Thomas tried to say that I was threatening Neil because I prayed for heaven to beat him with a stick. You know? And so I'm making terrorist attacks because I'm threatening Neil by praying and asking heaven to beat Neil with a stick. And that makes me dangerous. It is beyond stupid. It is beyond it. They're reaching, and I just don't understand what they think they're accomplishing. Other than making themselves look guilty. That's what they're doing. They're making themselves look guilty. And why? Because they are. They know it. I know it. They just don't want anyone else to know it. But I think that there's several of you out there who are wise to the whole situation. You know, I've asked, that's exactly it, Sherilyn. I've stopped going to the police because it gets you nowhere. I don't go to the FBI because it gets you nowhere. I don't go to my sheriff's department because it gets you nowhere. Targeted? Oh, it'll get you targeted, all right. That's the reason why I've taken it to this shit. You know? Law enforcement is heavily involved. Neil has been protecting them this whole entire time. You know? Neil has protected them this entire time. And before the gas station explosion, I thought Neil was on my side. I actually trusted him. I stayed in Harlan so I could stay in Shelby County because I trusted my sheriff. You know? When I say that sometimes I am not bright and they're really good liars and I've been duped more than once, I'm not kidding. You know? I'm not kidding. I should never have brought up Neil's children. I should have never brought up Neil's children. I was mad when I did it. I've been called out. The people who called me out were 100% correct. And you know, people's children, I'm doing all of this to try and help children, not wish bad things on them, you know? And so But what I do know is that Neil seems to be okay with pedophiles who are fucking other people's kids because he's been protecting them for a long time now. So he's obviously okay with pedophiles because he's been protecting them. He's gone out of his way to protect them. Hey, Susan, you know? And so I need to be as visible as possible and as much as possible. Tuesday, Thursday, I'm on at 11. Sunday, I'm on at 2. And I know this because I've been dealing with these motherfuckers for 2 decades now. I know it from personal experience. The shit that I've had to deal with. The shit that I am dealing with. That's how I know. You know? And you want to know what? I'm not the only one who's had to deal with this. There have been many more people like me who have come out and said they were doing the same exact thing to them before they ended up fucking dead. You know? This group has an inordinate amount of dead people around them. Statistically speaking, it is not even a possibility that it's a natural event, occurring event. There's too many fucking dead people around this group. Isaac is only one. You know? Only one. Just statistically speaking, it's not even possible that they have so many dead people around them. And if you want to know exactly what it is, go talk to Thomas. He knows everything. Dates, times, events, people. He can give you the fucking... But he's just a little musician who does music. But boy, he sure does know. But then I would take what he says with a grain of salt. Because one day he only spoke to Isaac twice. Then the next day it's 15 fucking times. You know? It's funny how the story keeps changing. You know? And then when you call him out on it, he comes after you and says you're victimizing him. That's how it works. You want to know why? You want to know how? Go read the fucking emails. The links are in the description. Go read it for yourself. Go read what he wrote. I'm just pointing it out. And it's not like this shit hasn't happened for fucking 2 years now with this dickhead. You know? Their stories change. Mine doesn't. And the reason, you want to know why mine doesn't? Because mine is the truth. I don't have to remember lies. That's why I posted all of me. Thomas better get all that shit right every time he's asked. So the shit that's written down there, he better have it fucking memorized so that in a week or two, when his fucking story changes, he's going to have a, you know? And Gabe, who's supposed to be this big advocate for fucking survivors. You know, it would be one thing if he was just going after me, but the survivors that helped him do his little documentary, The Open Secret, the fact that he had to take them to court to shut them the fuck up says a whole lot. Unless you're fucking stupid, you know? And if you think that it doesn't mean anything and it doesn't have anything to do with anything, I suggest you pull your head out of your ass before you asphyxiate. That's just my suggestion. With that said, I'm going to pray. You know? So, it's easy to go look it up. It's easy to go look it up. It's all over. It's all over. He took him to court. He took him to court. It's all over. You can go find, there's all kinds of shit about it out there. You know? I'm not the first survivor he's gone after. By far. I'm just not going to run. Heaven, we come to you as your children. I have to say thank you. You reminded me in the harshest way possible this week that I am no longer 20 years old. Doing all of that weeding, but I would just, because people were coming and looking at my house because of all those flyers and the sign that I have in my yard, I just didn't want my front yard to look like shit. So I spent that whole day weeding on my hands and knees, and it was painful the last 2 days. And so, but I appreciate you letting, because as Smokey so lovingly said, there are people my age who can't get up and down on their hands and knees, let alone crawl around on their hands and knees for hours. But those weeds needed to be pulled by hand. I can't spray chemicals. Too many people walk their animals on my sidewalk. There's no way I can dump a bunch of chemicals out there for people's animals. We come to you. Things are getting crazy. Mount Rainier is getting ready to have some problems. That volcano down in Peru is getting to have some problems. The whole Cascadia thing, the New Madrid fault line is having issues, and the sun is just inundating us with gamma radiation. So we know that these days are hard, and it is our job to stand up and spread the word globally. That's why we're here, to emulate and teach through example the word as best as we can. And there's an army of us here, and we're grateful. We're grateful that you've called us. We're grateful that many of us were strong enough to take a stand and answer. And we're grateful for everything that how it's playing out. And I'm grateful because I feel like you're answering your promises. And I feel amazing. I have never felt so amazed before. I just feel released. That's why I've been able to do yard work, and I've been able to do stuff, and I've been able to, sew and create, and I want to get back into writing. And but I say these things lovingly in your son's name, our brother, Jesus Christ. All glory goes to him and to you. All glory goes to the word. And we say these things lovingly and gratefully and humbly in your brother, your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. I know some of you are wondering, I am going to have to spend that computer bag I have to have. I cannot start writing until I have that computer back, because I can't have a computer in this house that I leave in this house for any amount of time. So that bag that I have to get is so that I can carry that fucking computer around with me everywhere I go, so they can't get at it. Just like I have to do my phone. They break in and do whatever the fuck they want to do in my house whenever they fucking want to do it. So I'm not going to start writing, let alone get a laptop, before I can carry it out of this house. I want it brand new, and I don't want to ever leave it in this house. I never want them to touch it. And to tell you, I have $15 to my name. But if I had $75, even though I have no food, I would get that, because I want to start on these books. I want to start on the 2 books that I'm writing, But I have to have something that it'll be a man bag. I'll be carrying a fucking purse around for the rest of my life. But I can't leave that computer in this house where they can get access to it for even a second. It has to go everywhere. So when I take it in the car, it has to go with me in the car. So I'm going to just, that's how it has to. And it sucks that I have to live my life like this. It sucks that I have to live my life like this. But what can I do? So PayPal and Venmo are just D Shurter. This is my book. It's $30 for the United States. Tell me who I'm inscribing it to. Tell me where I'm sending it. If you live outside of the States, get a hold of me, because I'll need to figure out postage. davidshurter.com is the blog. dshurtermod@gmail.com is an email that you can reach. If you want me to bring stuff up, if there's certain topics you want me to talk about, it goes to there, because Sherilyn helps me do that, because I have a lot of shit going on. I have a life. I know it comes as a shock to everybody, but I have a life. And it's not this. This is just one aspect of my life that I go on and do a live 3 times a week. Sometimes 1 or twice more, if there's stuff that I feel like it needs to be addressed. But, thank you, Sherilyn, D Shurter Mod. But, donations, right now, other than food, because I'm I'm gonna be hurting here very soon. Again, we'll go so I can get a bag so I can start writing 2 more books. I think you'll like to know. I think you guys will like what I'm getting ready to write. And I'm still working on bags, but like I said, I weeded a couple days ago, and oh my god, the day after, and then yesterday, I was so sore. I could still get up and move around, but oh my god, there were muscles in my butt and down the back of my leg that I didn't remember I even had. But they screamed at me for a couple days. Nope, not making myself a bag. Not gay enough to wear one of my own bags. I like my bags, don't get me wrong. I like my bags. But no, I wouldn't be seen dead carrying a bag. Wouldn't do it. You know, wouldn't do it. They're pretty much for women, you know. I'm working on, this is what I'll show you. This is actually had someone specific in mind, but this is what the front is. And so all around it is going to be this border. As you can tell, it's the brown and then the orange with the flowers and the daisies. And that's going to go all around. This is just a border. For some people who like bags, I go online and look on eBay for jeans that have embroidered crap on them. And so I can find stuff, and this person wanted birds. And so I found some stuff for birds. Iowa. It's not in Kentucky. It's in Iowa. You know, as far as the Texas floods and stuff go, I'm not surprised that it hit that Christian camp. I'm not. And I know that it is awful. I'm not negating what happened as it being awful, because it is. But God's bringing us home. And some of them are going to actually some of us are going home before the shit really hits and gets bad. And so when you start looking at the tragedy of those girls, especially in that flood, God called them home for a reason. And they get to miss all the bad shit. Because again, remember, great gnashing of teeth, and has never been this bad before and will never be this bad again. You know? And so I think that there's some of us who are going to get called because we're not meant to see it. We're not meant to be here when it gets bad. It wasn't our place to actually see it when it gets bad. Some of us actually get to go back home sooner because we get to avoid the dinner show, unfortunately, or fortunately. But remember, it's written that in the end, the living will envy the dead. So I think that heaven is calling people home now. And so as heartbreaking as it is of what we just experienced in Texas, I think a lot of that is going to start happening all over the place. And I think that there's a reason for it. We're being called back home. One way or the other, we're all going to die eventually. No one has found out how to live forever, and not even those dumbasses. Especially not those dumbasses. And having things cut and pulled and tugged and stretched is not staying young. In fact, I don't even understand that, because you don't even look normal. In the end, you don't even look normal. You know? I'd be so afraid of someone fucking cutting into my face. You know? Fuck, I'm already ugly enough. I don't need any help. You know? Pulled and stretched like a fucking turkey. And you look weird. I went to a Cher concert once, and she went 20 minutes on how young she was and how great she looked. But she didn't look young. She looked like she'd been in some sort of weird fire. Her face was all stretched out. I gotta get off here. It's noon. Sherilyn has to go Sunday, if not before. Sunday at 2. Thanks, guys.